Good morning, my fellow Africans and the world at large. This is Emmanuel Kojomensa once again, coming into your homes and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment, all the way from Ontario, Canada. Today is the 15th of August in the year 2022, and the Bible says, "This is the day the Lord has made. We should rejoice and be glad in it." And for that matter, I take this opportunity to invite the whole world, any man or woman listening to me or hearing my voice, to join me to give thanks to God for the day that He has granted unto us. And life in general. Life is beautiful. Life is wonderful. Life is glorious. Life is God Himself flowing through all things, including mankind. Today, I am going to speak to you on the topic, every wall is a door to greatness. I repeat, every wall is a door to greatness. To many or to majority of mankind, if not all, the world is full of walls such that they are unable to penetrate these walls to the other side or to do whatever they want to do. And so they walk in life, and they see themselves as victims, people that have been shortchanged. They have everything to believe, and they actually think that they have the right to be sympathized for the fact that they are being blocked by these walls. And today, when I say wall, I'm talking of the difficulties, or what we call as life situations that blocked us from achieving what we want to achieve. But today I am here to tell you that the truth of life is those walls are the doors that leads you into greatness. Every difficulty, every challenge, every seemingly painful circumstance is an opportunity leading you or acting as a gateway or as a door to usher you into another level of life. If only you have the ability and understanding to persist and to confront that wall, you will see that you create a hole into the wall, and right there, you are into a different world. Your life has changed. And so it is all about perspectives, the perspective that we hold about our life and our understanding of things in the universe. So the human being is not here to live and just say that everything is done for him or her perfectly. But we are in this world as co-creators with God. And therefore, we are supposed to confront difficulties. And out of these difficulties, challenges, that we open opportunities into our life. Because without the door, without the difficulty, there can never be an opportunity for you. If the human life is a complete life, a perfect life, then there is nothing that we ought to do. There will be no achievement. There will be nothing to aspire for. And so your life is actually made in such a way that everything that you see as a blockade, everything that you see as a wall, blocking you from anything that you want to achieve. As a matter of fact, that wall is the real opportunity. And if you are able to break into that wall or make a hole into that wall and go to the other side of the wall, you will see that the wall is actually a door, and it is your responsibility to open it. As a matter of fact, these life walls or difficulties that we have, they are all doors to it, and there are keys to them. Every wall, everything has a key. The key is accessible to every man or woman, but it is hidden. And it is every man or woman's responsibility to look for the key and open the door. First, you have to locate the door, and then you open it with a key. And so the world that we have is like an illusion. That this life difficulties, they are illusions. It's like if the door has been created, but it's made in such a way that it blends into the wall, so you don't see it. But there is a lock, there is a keyhole that you need to put a key inside and open the door to the other side, and that is why we are here. And that is the duty and responsibility of every man or woman on earth here, particularly those of us that desire to have a fuller and a beautiful life on this earth. There are no walls. Everything that you see as a wall is a door. They are invitation. And as a matter of fact, there is a saying that difficulties and challenges are the signposts leading us to God. I repeat, difficulties and challenges are the signposts leading us to God. So when the difficulty comes into your life, the only thing you need to do is to have the right perspective, the right mindset, the right understanding of life, that you are not here to be buffeted. You are not here to be overcome by these difficulties, but you are to wrestle with them. And then as you wrestle them, you see that they become loose, and you identify the door. You will see the key, and as soon as you have the key and you identify where the lock is, you open and it goes. And so you see that every situation, every difficulty has a solution. Every difficulty, every situation in our life has a solution. But it is not only everyone that is able to get a solution, because the solution only comes to only those who understand how the world runs. And so everything in your life is governed by the mindset or the perspective that you hold about situations, life challenges. And so we know that we are in the same world, but we experience different things. We have different experiences. And as a matter of fact, men and women born into one family, they hold different perspective, different mindset of things. And they experience life situations differently, different life situations, even though they are in the same home, or they were born and raised by the same mother and father. And so that is our world. And so, invoking the words of my mentor, Ralph Waldo Emerson, to support this. According to Emerson, to different minds, the same world is a hell and a heaven. I repeat, according to Ralph Waldo Emerson, to different minds, the same world is a hell and a heaven. And that is our life. Today, as I'm talking to you, as you are listening to me, your own perspective of life is what you become. So if you see the world as a hell, it becomes hell for you. If you see the world or wherever you are as a heaven, you will create that heaven on earth here. But it all depends upon how you understand, your level of understanding and knowledge about life. And so we are surrounded by walls, seemingly walls, but the walls are to help us to build character, to build ourselves. And as we do that, we break into the wall, or we open the doors into to the walls, and then we go to the other side. And then that is complete liberation. That is complete self-actualization, self-fulfillment. And so there are no walls in your life. Difficulties, every situation that you are going through, that you may think that you are the most unfortunate person in this world, is, as a matter of fact, an invitation from the universe, an angel sent to you by God to lead you into a complete discovery, for you to discover something, for you to receive an idea, for you to receive something. And when you develop on that, you will see that it becomes a solution to that problem. And that solution becomes your juice. That makes you popular. That makes you rich. That is the truth of life. So the only thing that a man or woman has to preoccupy himself with, particularly in times of difficulties and challenges, is the desire to know and to receive the solution to the problem. And therefore, you don't look at the situation, you don't look at the difficulty as a wall. Let's say you are born into a poor family. First, you have to come to accept that this is how I came to the world. These are the people that I passed through them into the world. This is where I was born to. This is what I was born into. And therefore, I embrace it. But with my understanding that I am a God on earth here, I am now going to depend on the every forces in the universe to make a way out of this poverty into riches. And as a matter of fact, as I said in one of my episodes the other day, there is nothing so extraordinary. There is no history, there is no story to be told. If you were born into a rich family and you inherit all these things from your parents, you didn't actually achieve in the world or in your life. And it is the natural order of life. The natural order of things is that children will grow to become adults. And unknown men and women will rise to become known, famous. And the poor people become rich. If a rich man becomes the poor person, then that is the reversion of the order of things in the universe. And so, when you actually, if you understand the truth of life, if you are born into poverty, then you are a potential rich person. You only need to identify where the key to this particular poverty that you consider as a wall that is preventing you from achieving your destiny, identify the key and open the door to the wall, and you will see that you are into riches. And that is where you write history, or you create history on earth that men and women now and beyond will come and read and say, wow, this is really indeed great achievements. And so, whatever situation that you find yourself in, circumstances or whatever, they are not there to harm you, but they are there to lead you into your greatness. Without any difficulty, man has nothing to solve, and therefore there would be no any invention. There wouldn't have been anything that a man can claim that this is my creation, this is my efforts. Without any difficulty, mankind would have been like the animals, because they don't do anything. They just walk and live and maybe pass away. But you are a God, you are a human being made in the image and the likeness of God. Therefore, you are here to continue with the creation of God. And that is by looking at the underdeveloped part of your life and then begin to work on it and develop it. And that is the way you move yourself up. And that is the way all of us will move ourselves up. That is how humanity has lived and carried us to where we are now. And so, all is about perspective, as I said already. What is your perspective of life, particularly whatever situation that you find yourself? And today, my encouragement to you is that if you find yourself in any dire situation, any difficult situation, the one that men and women calls unfortunate, today I'm telling you that be happy, be glad, on the condition that you are ready to look for the truth and approach this situation, and you will eventually realize that actually this is an opportunity that God has sent to me. And so even in the Bible, we are told that Jacob wrestled with an angel, and the angel of God is the problem. And the same way that Jacob wrestled with the angel of God, and it is the same, you also, you have to wrestle with the angel that has been sent to you. And that is the difficulty or the problem. If you rise and take the right perspective of mind, or the right perspective and the right mental attitude, and begin to work in the light of truth and obeying and observing the laws of nature, you will realize that you will unfold everything that you need, everything that appears to be a wall that is blocking you begins to crumble down. All doors begin to show up. Then the keys are handed over to you. Then you open them, and as soon as you cross the wall, you move to the other side. You are in a different world. And so we know that from the Bible. We know from the Bible that Jacob and the angel wrestled, and the angel actually broke his leg, and it became his identity. So it became his identity. So as a poor person, when you become rich, the world will no longer call you the rich man. They'll call you the poor man. They begin to wonder, is it not this man or woman walking here? Oh my God, he is now a new person. You have a new identity. You have a new look. And that is how your difficulties and challenges comes to bless you. Any man or woman that we call a hero has to go through a certain challenge, has to go through to battle with a certain difficulty to overcome it. And it is only when the difficulty is overcome, then that the person is considered as a hero. And so the world we live in only one world. I repeat, we live in only one world. But everyone, based on our perspectives, different worlds we see. We live in the one world, but based on our perspectives, we see different world according to this perspective. So some people may see the world to be an unfair world, that justice must be served to them or whatever by some higher people. Some too sees the world as a beautiful and a wonderful place that they are in control of their life. Therefore, they mold and shape their life based on what they know and what is within them. And so you will never live a life that will be the same as another person, unless, of course, you hold the same perspective and think in the same way. There is no one in your mind except you. Your mind is your kingdom. You are the king and the queen, and everything that goes on there, you are the controller. And that is your thoughts. And so if you are able to change your thoughts, the thoughts that you cast upon situations, the thoughts that you cast upon circumstances, from negative to positive, and look at it from the fact that the truth that you are a creator, and therefore you are creating your own circumstances. Therefore, this difficulty has come, but I know that by the powers given to me, as a child of God, as an image and the likeness of God, as an incarnate of God, this problem will crumble before my feet by the power of God in me, and I will see whatever thing that is behind the problem. And that is how men and women went around, and they brought us beautiful and wonderful inventions. They gave us beautiful and wonderful things. And so this is the time that you as an individual, that you are listening to me, the time that we have been living and praying and praying and praying away our difficulties. I mean, praying and lambasting evil forces, witches and wizards and whatever, that they are the causes of our difficulties, has come to an end. And this is the new era, that you have to take the right perspective. You are not a victim of anything, but you are the creator of your own life, and you enjoy or endure your own life. Therefore, every situation that is in your life, with the right mental attitude and with the right perspective, you will turn these difficulties into opportunities, and it becomes a door through which you have walked into your riches. That is the truth. And as a matter of fact, before calmness appear on the surface of the sea, there must be a raging storm. Before daylight comes, there must be a dawn. Before a woman gives birth, a woman will hold a child in her hands, she must go through the pains of birth. It is to everyone, everything in this universe, There is always a preceding thing that appears to be painful, that appears to be very uncomfortable, unpleasant. But that is the truth. That is the order of things. That is the nature of things. You must cut through every wall and go and pick what belongs to you. But this mentality of attributing difficulties and situations to evil spirits or whatever and other people is unfortunate and it's a wrong mindset. And this is the time that we have to rise up. We will never go forward in our own personal lives and in our life collectively as a group of people until we begin to carry the right perspective of life. Until we begin to carry the right perspective of life. And so when Emerson says that to different minds, the same world is a hell and a heaven, it's indeed true. Africa, even as we are talking now, some people classified Africa as a hell. They said Africa is next to hell. But at the same time, with the right perspective, you can see Africa as a blessed place that you can achieve and do anything that any man or woman in any part of the world can do. It is only your perspective. You are sitting down saying that you do not have the capital, you do not have this, you do not have this, and therefore your ideas, you cannot achieve them. The same thing, the same situation another man or woman is going through, but with the right perspective, the person has gone on to achieve his or her dream. And so it is not about the problem that is blocking you. It is your own ignorance. The problem is an invitation. And so rise up and take this right mental attitude, take the right perspective of life. You are supposed to go the high way, but not the low way. The human being is here to dominate. The human being is here to conquer. The human being is here to expand and grow and to become bigger and bigger as part of God's overall creation process. And that is evolution. And therefore, you must take your rightful place in life. And that is beginning to see the world that though it appears to be full of walls, these walls are, as a matter of fact, doors leading us into our greatness. That is the truth of life. There are walls. Though there appears to be walls, there are doors, there are many doors on these walls that every man or woman has the ability and the right to open, but on the condition that you have the right mental attitude and you are able to look for the key. The key to the door is the truth, is the acceptance, and having the calmness, having the mentality that regardless of how things appear now, there is a higher power. There is a very greater power that you are working with. And therefore, with that power, all these doors are blown wide open and such that you walk through these doors to take what belongs to you. So you are not shortchanged in this world. My fellow African, my brother, my sister, my fellow man or woman, regardless of who you are, whatever you call yourself. There is only opportunities in this world. There are no lack of opportunity. There are no lack of opportunities. There are abundance of opportunities. What we have in this world, particularly in Africa, is that we do not have people with the right mindset, with the understanding of life. And therefore, it looks like there is lack and scarcity. If all of us have the right mental attitude, as a matter of fact, Africa will become one of the greatest continents in the world because we have numerous difficulties. We have numerous challenges. And assuming that men and women begins to look for solutions, begins to identify and develop the solutions to our challenges, then Africa becomes solutions, a continent of solutions, but not a continent of problems. But what are we saying? By our perspective, that we are victims and we do not have any role to play. We do not have any part to play in the creation of our lives. We sit down and we only endure these difficulties, or we cry and ask for people to come and help us. That is not how life is supposed to be. We are supposed to wrestle with these difficulties. If it is hunger, if it is darkness, if whatever it is, we are supposed to wrestle with it. An African rising up and said, this difficulty, it appears a wall. It is blocking me and all men from doing or having a particular state of life. Therefore, I am going to dedicate myself and make sure that I will find the key to this door that is in this wall and open this door such that I will go to the other side and I'll become the hero. That is the truth of life. So, develop the right perspective of life. Turn away from the old school, old mindset that you are a victim. And now embrace the truth that you are not a victim, but you are the creator of your own realities. And that all your difficulties and challenges are invitations from the universe that rise up, my son, my daughter, and turn this into something beautiful. And as soon as you create a solution to that difficulty, the door has been opened, and it is the solution that comes to you that becomes your blessings. Money, fame, they are rewards to our efforts. And therefore, if you want to be rich, but you're not making any effort, then you are daydreaming, you are ignorant person. And when I say you have to make effort, I'm not talking about you going to look for a job and all those things. Yeah, those ones are good. But as a matter of fact, your job, you will only be paid based on the job that you take on. And your life will mirror whatever you are taking from the job. But if you look at it from the higher perspective and say that there is a difficulty or a challenge confronting me and all men, and therefore I am going to look for a solution to that, then you move yourself from the men and women who are just going to and fro, morning and afternoon, evening, they go and come home and go into another area that you control your own life and that of other people. That is the truth of life. And so this is the time that every African has to rise up. I am empowering you. I'm bringing this message to you such that all of us will rise up to create a new Africa. We have been doing something for far too long. What are we doing? What are we creating? What is coming out of our own lives? Nothing. But we have the difficulties that are actually begging us for our attention. And this is the time we have to turn our attention to that. That the men and women of Africa will rise up and declare that we are the children of God. We are God incarnate here. And therefore, we embrace our difficulties and challenges, and we wrestle with them, and we turn them into opportunities. And that is when Africa will be seen as a continent that is actually rising and developing as it's supposed to be. Regardless of whatever we are doing, until we begin to have the right perspective and begin to walk in the right direction of life, we will never see any development. And as a matter of fact, the key to all difficulties is the same. It's the same truth. The key that opens door 1 can open door 2, door 3, door 4. So if yours is poverty, you need the truth about it. If yours is, whatever your challenges may be, there is the truth in that. And the truth is you seeing yourself as the creator of your own realities and begin to take control of your mind and connecting your mind to the mind of God, such that ideas pertaining the problem, the difficulties you are facing, will drop into your mind and it begins to spring out of your life. That is the truth. So no one is banned, no one is denied from discovery. And the only thing that we have to do is to ask ourselves, whenever we confront the situations or difficulties confront us, how can I make this work? That is the question. How can I make this work? You are already in the situation. The only thing you have to do is, how can I make it work? The word how is a very powerful word which leads or which begins or starts the process of inquiry. But when you are in a difficulty and you ask yourself, how did I come into this? No, that means you are not a seeker of solution, but you are more or less a complainer. You want to apportion blames to other people. If you ask yourself, where can I get help? That means you are not a seeker. You are not looking for solution, but you are looking for someone to help you, to liberate you. But when you say, how can I make it work? How can I make this situation better? God, lead, guide me, and direct me in the right direction. Then you are the scientist. You are the scientist who has just started his own inquiry into a particular problem. And so, bringing even the name of the scientist, all of us have attended school and we know what laboratory is. Every science discovery began with the word how. Began with the word how can we discover. Then they dive into the inquiry. They begin to look for it. When you ask the word how, it actually puts your mind in a state of you searching for a solution. You are not looking for anything, but you are searching for understanding, and the understanding leads to you getting the solution. How can I make this better? How can I understand this such that I can turn it around? And that is the question that every of us has to be asking about our difficulties. Father, how can I get around this? How can I get around this, over this? Then God will drop the answer to you that, my son, my daughter, this is the way. But when you say where, when, what is this? Then you are a complainer. You are complaining. So the perspectives you have will determine the questions that you are asking all the time. The questions that you are asking all the time. And as soon as you ask the question, the universe is ready to respond to you. So when you say when will I get out of this? Oh, whoa, when will I get out of this? The universe says, okay, you want to get out of it, but you have to open the door. And since you are there, just asking when and when, I'm also listening to you because no one is going to show you. When you say, what is this? The universe says, okay, what is this? I have no answer for you. The answer is that the key is there. Go and open it. And once you are asking yourself in perplexion, you are so perplexed, disorganized, and asking the question, what is this? What is this? The answer will not come. Where? The answer will not come. The understanding will not come. But the moment you begin to ask, how can I? Father, show me the understanding. Let me understand why I am in this. How can I make this better? Then ideas and everything begins to come to you. Then you are like the scientist who is diligently analyzing, understanding, and analyzing everything around him or her, pertaining what he's looking for, and eventually he goes on to find it. And so when the Bible says, ask and it shall be given, that is what we are talking about. Difficulties are here, but we have the power and ability to overcome them. But we are co-creators with with a higher power, which is God. And therefore, it is our responsibility to ask. But we don't ask where, how, where, when, what. But we ask how. And the moment we get asked how, then it means we are ready for us to be led to the answer, to the door. And so, the universe we live in, there are no walls. The walls we see, or the what we call as difficulties and challenges, that they are blocking us as walls, that they are blocking us from achieving what we want to achieve, are not walls, as a matter of fact. They are opportunities. They are the gateways that leads us into the greatness. But unfortunately, we are beaten about the bush, and particularly with my fellow Africans. We are lagging behind in everything in the world. And this is not the time. We have been asking the questions when, what, where. This is the time we have to ask the question how, turning it into ourselves. You are not asking anyone, but you are asking, how can I understand this better? How can I make this better? Now I am at this stage of this life. This thing is not working for me. How can I improve it? How can I make it better? That is the questions that we all of us have to be asking. And when we do this, the universe will drop ideas into our minds, such that these ideas, with our efforts, they will spring forth into our lives, into our cities, into our towns, into our roads, such that there will be proper development, there will be proper beauty. Everything that we are seeing in our world is an opportunity. And if you take African countries, and as I've always been doing, I use my motherland, Ghana, as an example. We are dying of electricity. We don't have it. We don't. So every day we are looking for solutions from different places. But God has blessed us with abundance of sunshine. If the African will begin to ask, Father, show me, Father, how can I make, or how can I get good out of this sun that is burning us? And you bed in your heart, God will lead you to discover technologies even higher than solar, such that it become a worldview. But the African is complaining every day when you call Ghana or any part of Africa. Oh, now the sun is too hot. Then we are talking of global warming. Yeah, those things are there, but we are already in it. There are opportunities in them. How can we get a good out of it? Ghanaians and all African countries, we are in riches, but we are every day going about asking for penuries because we are not looking for the answer. We see everything that is in our life as a blockade. We do not have the technology. We do not have this. We do not have it. So we see it as a blockade, as a wall. But as a matter of fact, the lack of the technology is the invitation. There are doors to this particular situation. And as soon as we begin to look for the keys and the doors, we will find it. And when we open it, we will realize that we have given the world a very beautiful and a great improvement. We've moved the world to another stage. And that is how life is supposed to be. The word how is what, or the question how, is what we have to keep as our guide. And that should define our perspective. You are not asking anyone, but you are asking yourself because you are a powerful human being, given all powers to dominate your solutions, your difficulties, and challenges to move yourself forward. I have just used only the sunshine. There are numerous opportunities. There are numerous situations that Africans will give the reasons why they are not able to do that. And so it is a wall. But today, whoever you are on the continent of Africa or anywhere, but my focus on Africans, whether you are a president, whether you are that, the difficulties, the problem you are facing with you and the nation is our good, is our opportunity. We only need the right mental attitude, the right perspective. Energizing and mobilizing our own people. Let us put our minds together. Let us think, and get ideas such that we will be able to break this problem down. And by the time we finish it, we are the controller of the solution to that problem, so that other people too will come and look for it, and then they'll buy and give us money, and we'll be rich. And so, whatever thing that you are seeing in your life, at your individual level or collectively as a group, it's to harm you. It's not to harm you. And it is not the work of witches or mami wata or whatever this, yes, that we always call in Africa. But their invitation, God is working through you. God is actually beckoning to you that, hey, come this way, and I will lead you into greatness. New things are the things that are coming into the world. But it is only who sees these difficulties in life, these challenges in life as doors to their greatness that will actually find these solutions and give to the world. And so, rise up, my fellow African. Whatever you are, whoever you are not created powerless. You were not born powerless, or you were not born powerless. You were created and born powerful, equipped to dominate and to make your life beautiful and wonderful. And if we rise up and take our rightful place in the universe and begin to see ourselves as powerful human beings, that we have the right to change and to make our life however we want it to be in a positive way, we will go on to create a continent, nations that are full of inventions, that are full of ideas, that are full of greatness. Greatness. That is the truth of life. And therefore, there is the need for us to empower one another, to energize one another, and call to one another that the only way out of whatever we are going through is to embrace and make all our difficulties become our friends. And then we begin to study them. We study them. And that is when we will understand them. And that is when we get solutions to them. And when we get the solutions, we become the owners, the controllers of the solution. And then the world will come and honor us. And that is when they come to seek our solutions so that they also use it to better their lives. So what are the doors? What are the things that you see as doors in your life? My fellow man or woman, particularly my fellow Africans. Now, disabuse your mind from the mentality of being a victim, but take on the mentality that you are a creator and a maker of your own life. And every circumstance, every situation, every difficulty in life is an opportunity, or it's a gateway, but not a wall that is leading you into greatness. And as I stated, that difficulties, challenges, and problems are the signposts leading us to God. And when we understand and we follow the signposts, one by one, we will see God. And that is when we have unfolded everything that God is ready to bring into the world. And then the beauty and the glory of God is being manifested in our lives. And that is where men and women have seen God. God works through every human being. So anything that you do that is great and beautiful, you have actually exposed men and women to the nature of God. That is the truth of life. This underdevelopment, this poverty, and all the things that we are showing are not the nature of God. We are abusing the powers and the greatness that God, the powers and the greatness that God has given to us. And this is the time we have to rise up and correct it, such that an African one day, I repeat, one day, the whole world, the whole world's eyes will turn onto the continent of Africa, that the son or the daughter of Africa has confronted a particular difficulty in Africa. And out of that, God has blessed Africa and mankind with a new idea, with a new technology, with a new invention, with something beautiful that we call the African made. That is the truth of life. And on that day, the whole stars, the universe, the planets will dance in chorus to the glory of God, that indeed Africa has arrived. Africa has become a continent that ideas and all great things are coming into the world to bless mankind and to the glory of God. That is my message for you. Now, may the overshadowing presence of God that keeps the stars in the open from falling on us, and that keeps the planets in their orbit such that they do not fall on us, such that they do not clash with one another, keep you, lead you, and guide you, give you an open mind and a receptive heart, and the urge to look for, to search more into this, or whatever I have given to you, such that you go on to be a man or woman, a man or a woman that sees his or her difficulties not as a wall, but as a door that he embraces and walks through it majestically to redefine himself, pull him or herself, be it poverty into riches, be you underdevelopment into developed states. That is the truth of life. And once again, my name is Emmanuel Kwejo Mensah. I am a co-founder of the Eagle Mentality Group. At Eagle Mentality Group, we dedicate our time, our resources, and our everything to the teaching and propagation of information about the power of the subconscious mind and the universal laws and principles that men and women in all other lands have used to develop their lands and move themselves to a higher level. It is our dream and a determination to create a new crop of Africans who would think and do things in a different way, in alignment with the laws of the universe, such that we will have enlightened and very powerful men and women in politics, in business, in medicine, such that ideas and inventions are springing forth from every nook and corner of our life on the African continent, that we become a blessing to the world and also to the glory of God, such that our creation and everything that we do becomes an attraction to men and women everywhere, such that it will attract men and women from all walks of life to come and dwell with us on our land in peace and in peace, and to enjoy the creation and the handiworks of the African, such that Africa will be a multiracial continent. Africa will be a diverse continent. As it is now, Africa is only inhabited mainly by black people, and this is the time we have to rise to change this, such that we will have men and women living amongst us to the glory of God, and that is diversity. For diversity is the evidence of the greatness and the beauty of every nation or continent. Thank you, and God bless you.